Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. It's Tony here, favorite YouTuber. Today I'm gonna do a review of the Microsoft Surface Duo, the first edition released in September 2020. In case you're wondering, man, are you not like 1 year late to the game? Well, now is the time to buy this phone simply because it's discounted to $400 in the US, and even over here in the UK you can get it from Currys for 485, even less than £500 for the 256 gig version, which is absolutely mind-blowing considering the original price was over $1,600, guys. But there is a pretty good reason for that though, which I'm going to discuss with you in this video. And pretty much I don't advise any normal person to buy this phone, unfortunately. I see some threads in Reddit, people talking about should I switch from iPhone to my first Android device, Surface Duo. Well, hell no, you really don't do that. You're gonna be back to your iPhone within the next 2 hours. So pretty much this phone is for geeks, for tech enthusiasts like me. I've reviewed over, well, not over, but just under 200 phones on my channel right now, and over here you can see my working devices. But yeah, I've got some experience with phones, and to be honest with you, I didn't buy this phone because I like it. I watched the reviews, I saw it's trash pretty much, but because it was cheap, and that's a pretty good motivation and a theme on my channel. I buy discounted phones, and sometimes the discounted phones could be good in a way. For example, the Essential phone was kind of good, the Red Hydrogen was kind of good, but unfortunately the Surface Duo is kind of bad. And instead of, issuing update with all the bugs and everything, they just released a new device which looks 95% like this one, but it has an additional camera at the back, which is one of the problems of this device. So it's like you didn't really expect that from Microsoft. I mean, come on guys, this one over here is the TCL 10 SE, the cheapest TCL phone money can buy. It's about 100 quid from Argos or whatever it was, and it got Android 11 update, and over here you're stuck with Android 10, which is absolutely mind-blowing, and still the bugs persist, guys. And I'm talking about, first of all, the orientation bug. Oh my god, I mean, you literally, this device has absolutely no idea. Let me show you what kind of launcher I installed, by the way. Is the let me put my password in. There we go. It's the whatever Microsoft, it's a redone launcher of the original Windows Phone launcher over here, and it looks pretty good for this device. I think that should have been the default skin for this device because it should sit very well. By the way, I tried the live tiles. It's not worth it because you've got so many bugs on this phone that the live tiles are the least of your problems. So in many occasions the phone has absolutely no idea in which direction are you facing it. For example, it doesn't rotate on that direction, sometimes it doesn't rotate on that direction, and it's like you try to switch on the camera. Oh my god, good luck with that. I mean, the camera constancy, let me actually try to show you guys what's going on over here with the camera. That's one of the most annoying things you can imagine. So you can see over here, oh my god, you can see my kitchen, right? Okay, so the camera, I'm gonna leave it for another time, but pretty much you try to shoot, let me show you, you try to shoot with the rear camera. The thing is, check this out guys, the thing is over here on this camera, yeah, that's my kitchen stuff. The thing is, on this camera you don't have a button to flip the camera. That would have solved all of the issues with the camera. Instead, you have to close the camera and pray. In this particular case it worked, but in many cases, believe me when I'm saying that, in many cases it doesn't work, guys. So you have to flip the phone like absolutely a madman. And the thing is, sometimes you really have to, oh my god, it froze. Okay, so it's sometimes you really have to take a photo quickly of a moment and you just miss that moment. So yeah, let's talk about the design first. This bumper case is included in the in the package, and it smells absolutely terrible once you open it up. It smells like something medical and it's really annoying, and I was like, man, this case is absolutely stupid. Why they design it like that? And let me tell you something, this case saved the device from breaking 2 times while I dropped it. Once it landed straight up like that, and the other time landed, I really have no idea how it landed, but it's absolutely pristine. So you need this ugly bumper case, guys, which makes taking this thing out of your pocket an absolute nightmare, especially if you wear jeans like me all the time. This sticks to the jeans, and oh my god, it's a nightmare. Plus it's too wide, guys, and it's too heavy, 266 grams, with a small battery inside, almost 3600 milliamp hours, with 2 screens. The battery life is as follows: 4 hours of screen on time if you're using both screens actively, and up to 8 hours of screen on time if you watch YouTube videos with 30% brightness on one of the screens. That's pretty much it, guys. That's the reality of this device. They fixed that with the Surface Duo 2. They've put a bigger battery. Now, in terms of security, you've got the fingerprint reader on the side over here, which is pretty good. Let me tell you that. The fingerprint reader is pretty good, but you have no face unlock. There we go. And one other thing which is absolutely ridiculously stupid, you've got a shortcut over here, and all it does is it flashes the flashlight in front of your face, which is which is mind-blowingly stupid, simply because they didn't put initially the cameras at the back where they're supposed to be. Now, let me mention the camera very quickly. By the way, the sound comes out of that speaker over here, and it's kind of okay because it's front facing. I mean, no matter how you hold it, it could be front facing or back facing, or easily you can use that screen, but it's just one speaker, guys, and it's kind of average. Now, the adapter, I had to buy the 3.5mm USB dongle. I had to buy separately for Microsoft because they didn't put headphone jack. Is the worst 3.5mm dongle I have ever tested, guys. Don't buy that piece of crap. On the positive note, the HTC dongle works as intended with this device, which is a green light. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch my video about the dongles I made years ago, which is still relevant because still dongles are not very good nowadays. Now, the camera, they've put, oh my god, the camera, guys. They've put an LG G7 or LG V30 camera on this device. Sony IMX159 or whatever the sensor is. First of all, it is too old, and second of all, the software is not optimized even one bit. They were like, do we have a camera application? Yeah, we've got one from somewhere. Just put it in, you know, just a camera, that's it. Sometimes in excellent, perfect lighting conditions, you can take photos like that, which look very well. However, the HDR is not good at all. I mean, low light, even indoors, oh my god, indoors, one of the worst photos I have ever taken on any phone, guys. Now, I know what you're saying. You can use the Gcam application, which you know, it's an option, but that's not your main camera application. That's the problem. And for a device that expensive, because it's still for 500 pounds, it's still expensive for that device, it should be a proper camera application, but there isn't. Now, in terms of video stabilization, you've got 4K 1080p, autofocus, really good, the stabilization is really good. There is no denying about that. However, if you use the phone in selfie mode, the stabilization goes out of the window. Suddenly, you've got no stabilization whatsoever. I've turned it out to 1080p. Even in 1080p, you don't have a stabilization. Okay, testing the stabilization of the only camera on the device. Now, the modes are different from the front and the back, but considering the stabilization was on, but I didn't get any actually on the selfie mode, I seriously doubt I'm gonna get any on the rear mode. But anyways, let's give it a try. Just a quick sprint over here to see how it does. And yeah, let's test the autofocus as well. What's going on here? Okay, autofocus is good. And now, for the sake of testing, let's have a quick look at the 1080p video. I'm curious about the level of the stabilization. It turns out that actually in 4K you do have a good stabilization. So yeah, let's have a look over here. All right.
Hello guys and welcome to Volokin Project. Today I'm testing the cameras of the Surface Duo and I've got some bad news and some good news. The good news is that for the selfie camera it's used the only camera on the device, which is a Sony sensor IMX351. It's a relatively old sensor coming from the LG V30 and LG G7 from a few years ago, but at least it was a proper flagship sensor back in the day. Originally 16 megapixels, but in the Surface Duo it's just 11 megapixels. Nevertheless, you can shoot 4K videos with it with image stabilization on. So let's see how does that work. A quick sprint over here. Alright, now you're gonna have a look at a few selfies and then we're gonna see how it performs as a main camera, guys. Let's do it. Okay, and since the stabilization on the selfie mode didn't work in 4K, I flipped it to 1080p to see what happens. So a quick sprint over here for the sake of testing. Let's have a look.
And the selfies, if you get the focus right, they're good. Otherwise, they could be pretty bad, guys. So how about the general performance, you might say? Snapdragon whatever 850 or whatever it is in this device. Well, the general performance, it never feels like a flagship, guys. It's okay, but it never feels like a flagship. That's all I'm gonna say. 6 gigs of RAM, it's okay due to the software optimization, but it should have been at least 8, to be honest with you. And the other thing is that on the second screen over here, actually it's supposed to be the first screen, on the right hand side over here, there's lag. Sometimes it lags. If you use anything on the left screen, it's okay, but on the right screen it lags, which makes absolutely no sense in my mind, but it does. Lack of software optimization. Now, you can do gaming, of course. I've got 170 FPS on Kashja, which is excellent. Pretty much you can run everything on maximum settings. However, gaming on this device, guys, is a rather unpleasant experience because you have to hold it like that or like that, and it's uncomfortable. It's way too cramped. I play Call of Duty, only Call of Duty for that matter, and it's almost unplayable. And you might think, man, I'm just gonna stretch it on 2 of the screens like that, and I'm just gonna play like that, even though you have on the way of your crosshair, you just have a line over here and you can't see where exactly are you shooting. I guess depends on the game, but the thing is that the FPS drops double. You're getting only 80 FPS, which is still playable, but it's like, why does the FPS drop when you stretch to the full screen? It doesn't make any sense. It's like 2 different hardwares. It doesn't act like one big screen, but rather than 2 screens paired together, which is not good, guys. So yeah, it's like for gaming, depends on the game, but it's pretty terrible. Now, for the emulators, it's actually pretty good. Again, depending on the emulator. For example, EPSXE, the PlayStation 1 emulator, doesn't support the joystick on the secondary display over here. But for example, this emulator, DuckStation, let me show you quickly, guys. You have to stretch it like that. Check this out. The DuckStation over here actually supports the joystick. So again, it depends. And when you talk about applications and support on the second screen, most of the applications are not optimized. So yeah, another thing, there's a bug with the Gmail, which hides the bottom. I mean, you have to use the Microsoft keyboard, which sucks pretty much. So again, I'm really not sure whether that's the Gboard, but bug, or the software can't handle it. But forget about Gboard. It's pretty annoying, guys. And the thing is, sometimes you just use the phone like that, and you're gonna see a little lag, and then, especially in the dark, and then the secondary screen over here lights up by itself, and you're like, what's going on over here? And you have to flip the phone back and switch it off. I mean, oh my god, they should have put a button over here to switch on and off the secondary screen, like the LG series with their secondary screen, but they didn't for some reason. I mean, the dual screen, the way LG did it wasn't good, but this one is way worse, guys, and that's a built-in hardware. That's the problem with this device. Otherwise, to be honest with you, I like the looks, I like the simplicity of the device. It's only white, They introduced black now with the new one, but nevertheless, you know, white is fine. The hinge is very nice. It's silent. The screens themselves, they're AMOLED screens. They don't have any issues with the screen. No ghosting, no nothing like that. They're really good screens, guys. So they kind of like had the idea of making this device. They made it. It wasn't ready, but they're like, we're just gonna release it. That's it. Next year we're gonna, you know, figure it out. And instead of issuing an update, fixing all of the issues, we've got a new device. And now it's time to conclude this video, guys, and let's have a look at the Volokin Spectrum scoring system where I rate phones. I've rated over 150 phones, and unfortunately that is the score that I got for the Microsoft Surface Duo 2. And as you can see, it equals to the 100-pound OnePlus Nord N100, which is a pretty terrible device in my opinion, and it's the cheapest OnePlus on sale. So although this phone is heavily discounted, it's under 500 pounds now, guys, although I really wanted to like it, I've tried to use it. I was 2 weeks on holiday. I really tried to use it, guys, and I mean, the amount of times this phone pissed me off was absolutely unbelievable. And something else, this is the first phone ever that you're struggling to, you know, hang up your conversation. You know, sometimes you speak with somebody, and the moment you hang up, the other person next to you start talking about, oh, what did you speak with the other guy on the phone, or this guy is an idiot, or something like that. Well, you press the hang button over here, the conversation closes, but it's still open, and you have to swipe down from the notification area and then press the hang button from over there, guys. So pretty much this you know, vital few seconds that the person next to you is talking about your conversation can be heard on the other side, which might, you know, create some problems depending on your family relationships, which is absolutely mind-blowing, guys. I mean, these are major software issues, and I have no idea what kind of quality control did they have on the software. It's not even a beta version, you know. It's a gamma or something like that. It's far off from ready, and I'm really not sure how can Microsoft put out a product like that. Now, the Surface Duo 2 might be a little bit better, but again, it's $1,600. So so it's like, whoever bought this phone, including myself, we're screwed pretty much. And thank God I didn't pay the full price, because this unit is already sold on eBay. I even made a little bit of profit, just a little bit of profit, not to feel sorry for myself. But generally, the guys who paid $1,600 for it and waited 1 year for an update and it still hasn't got it, guys, I genuinely feel for you, because you trusted Microsoft and it let you down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Adios.